Hi guys, it's the 28th of June 2025. Just going to do a quick short video on maintaining your garage door, with basically lubricating it really, lubrication, so you can extend the life of the components which operate the system, like the pivots and all the bits and pieces. This is just your classic up and over door, just a very basic model. Most of them follow a similar design. They employ like a spring which has a shaft there which goes onto a spool where you've got your wire coiled up. There's one that side too, there's the other one that side too. The spring can be adjusted so you can open the door in a comfortable fashion and then pull it down without having to strain. So you want to get it in like a balanced state, and you can adjust that, but that's another story. There's a few little bits here you can adjust. They often have instructions on the side how you can balance it out, because it does, bits and pieces sort of wear over time and you have to make a few adjustments. But if you keep it well greased up, you shouldn't have to do too much to it through the life of the garage door. But lubrication is really important for these doors, otherwise you'll get cables breaking. You need to use something like a lithium based white grease. This is the best thing to use. WD-40 in light oil is no good. You want a bit of grease because that sticks and stays in place. WD-40 isn't really a lubricant really, and it will just evaporate. So you want something a little bit sort of more substantial. So this sort of spray grease. Lithium is fine, and then you just spray that on in places so you don't get all mucked up. Now, to do that, the best thing to do is open your garage door, click the open, and as the cable, you see that cable unravelling, and you can spray that. Sometimes you can get someone to operate the door for you, and then you spray the grease on it. See as it goes there, spray that grease on there, on that spool. As it unwinds and as it winds up, get a good old load of grease on there, and that'll coat that little cable up. Because you see the cable, you see the cable there as it goes in, it's not very thick. If that gets corroded, they will snap. And you get one, they don't both snap both sides, but in the garage door go at a weird angle and you won't be able to use it anymore. So yes, you've got one either side. And the other thing you have on this particular model, all about the road, I've got a busy road out there. You've got like a nylon guide, see that guides the garage door along the metal runner. Got a metal runner either side which that glides up and down on. See that gliding up and down within a little carrier, like a bit of like a little enclosed box, metal steel, and that glides up. Now you want to keep that nice and greased as well. So just like literally spray your grease in there like that, spray that in there, plenty of grease in there, and that'll glide nicely up and down there, see that? And it's not hard then to shut. You can also lubricate the spring, that's really just to stop it rusting. The other thing I've done on my garage door, I've had to reinforce it over the years. They're a bit flimsy, these things. They're thin metal and they use lots of braces. You've got to keep them light, otherwise they'd be too heavy and you'd have to have a massive spring. In the old days, they'd have the big concrete weights either side. I quite like the old garages. They'd have like, they wouldn't use these silly little cables. I'm not keen on these cables because when they break, it's a right pain. But some of the old garage doors, they'd have a concrete weight either side, operating on a metal pivot system. I tried to get one of those a few years ago, but it got thrown away and damaged. I was a bit upset about because they were knocking an old garage down. The bloke said I could have the garage door, it was the same size as mine. They had the nice mechanism with the big concrete weight on it. Much better design, much longer lasting, but right now I'm stuck with this modern design, which I'm not overly keen on, but it is terrible when they snap. It's a right fag having to retension them or get the wires wound back up again. So avoid that where possible, keep it well lubricated. I've had to reinforce my garage door over the years as well. That's a galvanised A plate I've riveted on there because it was starting to sort of come apart. A lot of these things are. I put another riveted plate on there, and I've also put another plate on there and a reinforcing strut along there in an endeavour to keep the garage doors alive as long as possible. The other thing I've done, they often have like a little rope toggle you pull down to shut it as you're going in. You shut it down. That rope repeatedly snaps, you know, like 3 or 4 times a year. It just snaps. The kids, well, they're not kids anymore, but they tend to slam the doors. They pull it down with a lot of force. I've even put a sign on here a few years ago: please do not slam the garage door. But yeah, they've all left now, so they don't slam it anymore. So you be delicate with these things. If you bang and crash them, you're going to do damage. But like I say, it had a rope thing on it. I got fed up of having to replace that, so I've made a little metal handle up, and that's out of an old cavity wall tie, which is heavy duty reinforced steel, and that's the bit that sits on the brick. There was an opposing one of those, but I cut that one off. Like butterfly ties, I think they call them. But that was loose, so that would bend down. So I've welded that piece onto there. So I've created a nice, strong handle. I put a little bit of tubing on there and a bit of cable, bit of insulating tape, so it doesn't hurt your hand when you pull it down. So that will last a good long time. It swings freely. There we go. So that'll help me get all my knees hurting. I've got to try and get up off my knees. Oh, creaking knees. They need lubricating, my knees. Which I think I've got to have a new knee in a few years' time, they said. That's another story, isn't it? We all have wear and tear, don't we? Whether you've got a knee or a garage door, it's all subject to wear and tear. Hopefully NHS will give me a new knee joint in a few years' time. Anyway, there you go. There's a little video for you. So if you do have an up and over garage door, keep it lubricated and save the hassle of having to get someone in or you having to fix it, because it takes a few hours and it's a pain in the butt. Anyway guys, enjoy the weekend. And a bit of a heat wave down in North Somerset in southern England, so enjoy the sunshine if you are somewhere nice and wherever you are. Good on you. Over and out. Bye.